Robbers violently murdered an old lady present in the store. So, her adopted sons mourned and vowed to avenge her murder. But upon investigation, they learned that it was not an accidental killing, but quite planned one. This ignited the fire of revenge in them that burnt everything down on that particular day. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me.
You killed my mother and my little brother, you motherfucker.
An elderly woman, Evelyn, caught a kid stealing at the store and gave him a good scolding, even threatening to call the cops if he didn't cut it out. The kid, freaked out by the idea of getting arrested, promised to stop stealing. Satisfied, Evelyn went back to her shopping while the kid took off. But shortly after, two guys with masks and guns stormed into the store, threatening the owner. After grabbing all the cash, they shot and killed him. Unfortunately for Evelyn, she was heard talking nearby, so the thieves found her and brutally killed her before escaping. The next day, the town held a funeral for Evelyn. She was well known for being a kind-hearted person who ran an orphanage, taking care of abandoned kids. Two cops, Green and Fowler, showed up at the funeral. Green told Fowler that Evelyn was a saint, but her four adopted sons were a mixed bag. Bobby Mercer, the oldest, had a shady past and was deep in the criminal world. Jerry Mercer had managed to leave that life behind and become a successful businessman. Angel Mercer lived out of town, and Jack Mercer, the youngest, struggled with a drug addiction. Later, Bobby bumped into Green at the funeral. They'd been childhood friends. Meanwhile, Jerry's wife was clearly not a fan of Bobby's presence, worried that he'd drag her husband back into the criminal world. Jerry reassured her that he was done with that life for good. That evening, Bobby, Jerry, and Jack went to their mom's house and found Angel already there. He apologized for missing the funeral, saying he had just gotten into town. They all went to their old rooms, reminiscing about their childhood with Evelyn. Bobby, feeling overwhelmed with grief, started crying. He told Jack he couldn't believe their mom was murdered so viciously, especially considering how good she was. Later, Angel said he needed to step out for a bit, but the brothers didn't believe him. They knew their brother's reputation as a ladies' man. Sure enough, Angel was seen flirting with someone else's girl later on. The next day, the Mercer brothers hung out, watching TV and cracking jokes like a normal family. As they had dinner together, they couldn't help but notice Evelyn's empty chair and remember the things she used to tell them. Afterward, Bobby suggested playing some hockey to lift their spirits. Soon after, the brothers met with Evelyn's lawyer, who handed over her inheritance. They didn't get much, just some money and jewelry, but none of them were upset. They were grateful for their mom's love and care more than anything. That night, they went to a bar to relax, and an old friend approached them with a lead on who was behind Evelyn's murder. Bobby was eager to hear more, but Jerry, wanting to stay out of trouble, decided to step away and let the others handle it. With the tip, Bobby, Angel, and Jack headed to a nightclub where a witness to the murder was supposedly hiding. Pretending to be cops, they questioned a guy who had been playing basketball near the crime scene. The guy claimed he didn't see much since the lights were off during the shooting. Not getting much info, the brothers left, but Bobby was convinced their mother's death was part of a bigger plot, not just a random robbery. The next day, they went to the shop where the murder happened to check the security footage. Watching their mother's last moments was hard, but they noticed the cops had questioned a black man who seemed to know something about the shooting. They tracked him down at a basketball court where a game was in progress. Bobby interrupted the game by pulling a gun, causing one of the players to flee. After catching him, Jack told Bobby to get out of there. When they interrogated the guy, he didn't know much but told them his older brother Damien had witnessed the murder. The brothers found Damien, but he tried to escape. Bobby chased him, but Damien's dogs attacked, giving him a chance to jump out a window. Bobby cut the rope Damien was using, causing him to fall. Lying injured in the snow, Damien refused to talk at first, but after being left to freeze, he finally gave in. He revealed that a bearded man at a casino was involved in the murder. When they arrived at the casino, they spotted the guy Damien had mentioned, but he and his crew were armed. A shootout broke out, and after a wild car chase, Bobby and Angel managed to catch the guy and his henchmen. Bobby, filled with rage, shot them both. The next day, cops Green and Fowler investigated the scene and immediately suspected Bobby and his brothers. When they went to question Bobby, they noticed his injured hand and found some of his hair at the crime scene, but Bobby and Angel denied everything, accusing the cops of setting them up. Green tried to calm things down, telling them not to make things worse. Meanwhile, a mob boss named Victor was furious. He was mad that the hitman hired to kill Evelyn was from the same town, which had now attracted the attention of the Mercer brothers. In his anger, he punished the guy by making him eat like a dog. At Evelyn's place, Jack and Bobby weren't ready to give up their search for answers, despite being closely monitored by the cops. Meanwhile, Angel was dealing with some drama involving his girlfriend. Soon after, a guy from the insurance company handling Evelyn's policy showed up, throwing some suspicion toward Jerry. According to the records, Jerry had just gone bankrupt, but weirdly, he managed to pay off the cops with a hefty sum. This raised Angel's eyebrows, making him wonder if Jerry had been up to something shady all along. While Bobby and Jack stumbled across a stash of guns at the home of Evelyn's killer, Angel tracked down one of Jerry's ex-employees to get some answers. The guy spilled the beans, saying Jerry's downfall was tied to some gangsters, which ended his business. Angel was left feeling betrayed, thinking Jerry had been hiding things from him. The man even mentioned an official who might know more about Jerry's shady dealings. Meanwhile, the brothers found a photo while checking out the killer's camera, possibly linking someone to their mom's death. When they paid the man a visit at his house, chaos broke out thanks to Angel's real friend showing up, leading to a scuffle. Turns out, the man didn't know much about Evelyn's murder, but did reveal he was her boyfriend. The next day, Angel laid it all out for Bobby, explaining Jerry's financial issues. That prompted Bobby to confront an official who had some inside scoop. They pressed the man, Douglas, who eventually cracked and admitted that Jerry had been mixed up with Victor. At the same time, Green was reviewing footage and started suspecting his partner, Fowler, after seeing him having a chat with Evelyn, even though Fowler claimed he didn't know her. Angel soon found out Jerry had borrowed cash from several people, including Victor. So, when they followed Jerry, they saw him handing over an envelope stuffed with money to one of Victor's goons. Bobby quickly stepped in, retrieved the cash, and questioned the guy. Douglas, on the other hand, was busy reporting the Mercer brothers' relentless pursuit to Victor, mentioning that they were faster than the cops in seeking justice. Victor, irritated by the news, grabbed a gun and prepared for a showdown. Bobby, Jack, and Angel later confronted Jerry, furious and accusing him of being involved in their mom's murder. But Jerry denied everything, claiming he had always been there for the family, even when his business failed. He said the insurance money went to the orphanage, and he had nothing to do with Evelyn's death. Suddenly, masked attackers showed up, and a gunfight broke out. Though the brothers managed to fend off the attackers, Jack was fatally wounded, leaving Bobby devastated. Fueled by rage, Bobby interrogated one of the surviving attackers, who revealed he worked for Victor before Bobby executed him. The cops, led by Green, showed up too late, with Green expressing regret for not being able to stop the tragedy. Green shared with the Mercer brothers that Evelyn had evidence against Victor and wanted to help Jerry, whose business had been ruined by Victor and crooked officials. But Fowler had leaked Evelyn's intentions to Victor, making her a target. Determined to seek vengeance, Bobby vowed to take down Fowler himself. Green later tracked down Fowler at a bar, ripping off his badge and telling him he didn't deserve it. However, Fowler shot Green dead before he could report him to his superiors. After Jack and Green's deaths, the remaining Mercer brothers set out to take revenge on Victor and Fowler. Jerry met with Victor's men, pretending to want to work with him again, but it was a trap set by the Mercers. Jerry took out a loan from the bank as bait, hoping to lure Victor in for the kill. Meanwhile, Angel persuaded a young kid to deliver a package to Fowler's house, tricking the corrupt cop. Angel then broke into the house, strangling Fowler with a plastic bag. At the same time, Victor's crew arrived at Jerry's place. After confirming Fowler was dealt with, Jerry met up with Victor's men for the planned transaction. Meanwhile, Angel had a run-in with the police after his girlfriend snitched on him, but he had come prepared, carrying a bug that recorded Fowler's confession about killing Green. As the situation heated up, Fowler tried to use Angel as a shield, but the police realized the truth, leading to Fowler's death by a sniper's bullet. Back at the meeting, Jerry feared for his life when he saw a grave being dug, thinking it was for him. But in a twist, the money he borrowed had been used to bribe Victor's men, who turned on their boss. Victor challenged them to a fist fight, but Bobby stepped in, easily defeating Victor before ordering his henchmen to throw him into the icy waters. The next day, the brothers were arrested for murder, but kept quiet under police questioning. Lacking evidence, they were released. In the end, they decided to renovate Evelyn's home, with Bobby choosing to stay and look after the children there.